So Ranae Holland is a scientist. You're UW educated, local. You live around here. You work with folks who investigate Sasquatch and Bigfoot sightings. You have a television show, Finding Sasquatch on Animal Planet. But you were a self-described skeptic in all of this.
Very, very true. Finding Bigfoot on Animal Planet. Yeah, I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic. I'm not a cynic. So even though I don't believe Bigfoot is a biological undiscovered species, I'm fascinated by the phenomena that is out there. What are people seeing? And that's just Bigfoot. You have these folks gathering out here on the coast this weekend talking about all things paranormal. And I think what it really speaks to is the power of curiosity. As a scientist, curiosity, this has driven me all my life, and curiosity is at the core of scientific inquiry. I think Carl Sagan said it best, that science is a way of thinking much more than it is a body of knowledge.
So you can relate to people, even though you're calling yourself a skeptic, you can relate in a way because the fields are so similar.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at the root. I mean, I became a scientist because as a little girl growing up in South Dakota with my dad, seeing the Patterson-Gimlin film back then, that was an opportunity for my father to basically promote critical independent thinking in his young daughter. He didn't tell me what I saw there on the television. He asked me what I thought, and that's where it started. And I held on to that, and I've always been curious, you know. And I think that's something that parents need to really embrace and instill in their children, to pursue whatever it is they're curious about. UFOs, Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, or their careers. Grab a hold of that, learn as much as you can, vet your sources, you know, no alternative facts. Really get to the bottom of that, make it your passion, and that's something that I did with science. Now, as a little throwback along the way, my curiosity, you know, as a young girl, I thought maybe Bigfoot was real, but as I grew older and I really became a skeptical scientist, which I think is the best type of science that there is, you're always retesting those old accepted facts, if you will. You know, we don't have time to go into, you know, what is all of a hypothesis, a fact, and whatnot, what have you. The whole point is we used to think that the world was flat. We used to think that the sun revolved around the earth. We need to constantly be retesting those accepted theories. So even though I may not agree with a lot of the folks who believe Bigfoot's real or if there's aliens or not, I applaud the investigation because it speaks to curiosity.
That's my favorite part about your show and about you, and when I hear you talk, is that you are not alienating people who have different beliefs, but you want everyone to be skeptical and look for facts.
Yeah, I think paranormal is an umbrella that covers many subjects that you can't prove nor disprove them. And you basically, debating it creates a circuitous reinforcement of their belief systems. And if you know, it's a natural reaction to defend your viewpoint when challenged. But when you mock or ridicule somebody, they just tend to dig in deeper. And the deeper you feel a faith when your faith is being tested. And I'm not saying that aliens are not real, or the Loch Ness Monster, or Bigfoot, and other things aren't real. But because they can't prove it, it gets thrown into that faith category. And I think just people rolling our eyes or mocking or being cynical about these types of subjects is actually disrespectful. I mean,
as with most things, a healthy debate is almost always the answer.
Absolutely.
With everything. Ranae Holland, thank you so much. Really, really amazing insight.
Thanks so much for having me.